Oh, Robin? I just saw her come in. She came in before I did.
Good evening.
I saw you entering early. How about it? Yeah, you couldn't get her license.
Yeah, it's exciting.
It's so quiet in here. Yeah. Good evening. I would like to call this meeting for Monday, November 21st, 2022 for the Auburn City Council to order. We will begin with a land acknowledgement. We would like to acknowledge the federally recognized Muckleshoot Indian Tribe, the ancestral keepers of the land we are gathered on today. We thank them for their immense contributions to our state and local history, culture, economy, and identity as Washingtonians. Public participation this evening, the Auburn City Council will be held both in person and virtually. Now, if you would all please rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. And Hannah, will you please call roll?
Deputy Mayor Jayraj,
I'm here.
Councilmember Baggett,
Here.
Councilmember Baldwin,
Excused.
Councilmember Brown,
Here.
Councilmember Malinga. Here. Councilmember Stearns.
Here.
Councilmember Trout Manuel.
Here. All right, thank you. Council, one item not on your agenda this evening is under announcements, mayor's proclamations and presentations, and we do have one mayor's proclamation this evening, so I am going to go over to the podium. I so enjoy when our students are engaged and involved in the community. And I don't know about any other council members, but I was involved in DECA when I was in Auburn High School and thoroughly enjoyed my time. I know it's a rival school and all, but DECA is DECA. It is, in fact, it doesn't stand for this anymore, but it used to be Distributive Education Clubs of America. Is it still? I had heard that they just took that away and just called it DECA, but it is a great opportunity for young people to learn about business and how to be successful. So thank you for your work. All right, we will move on to appointments. Civil Service Commission, City Council to approve the appointment of David Boyd to the Civil Service Commission for a 6-year term expiring December 31st, 2028. Is there a motion? Is there a motion? Deputy Mayor J. Raj.
I'd like to make a motion to appoint, what was the gentleman's name?
David Boyd,
David Boyd to a 6-year term on the
Civil Service
Civil Service,
Commission.
Commission.
Thank you. Is there a second? Councilmember Baggett.
I'll second that, Your Honor.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor Jayraj, did you have anything else you would like to?
Thank you, Your Honor. I think David Boyd is well qualified for that position, and we should appoint him. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions or comments from council? All those in favor of the appointment of David Boyd to the Civil Service Commission, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say no. Motion passes. Next, Auburn Municipal Airport Advisory Board. City Council to approve the appointment of Chad Ellison to the Auburn Municipal Airport Advisory Board for a 3-year term expiring December 31st, 2025. Is there a motion? Councilmember Trout-Manuel.
I'd like to move to approve the appointment of Chad Allison to the Auburn Municipal Airport Advisory Board.
Thank you. Is there a second? Councilmember Brown.
Yes, Your Honor, I would like to second that motion.
Thank you. Councilmember Trout-Manuel.
Just a little thing. I want to congratulate you, Mr. Allison, for stepping up and taking the lead, and I know you'll do a wonderful job.
Thank you. Questions or comments from council? All those in favor of the appointment of Chad Ellison to the Auburn Municipal Airport Advisory Board, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say no. Motion passes. Transportation Advisory Committee. City Council to approve the appointment of Tyson Hiffman to the Transportation Advisory Committee, citizen at large position, for a 3-year term expiring December 31st, 2025. Is there a motion? Deputy Mayor Jayraj.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would like to make a motion to adopt Tyson Hiffman to the Transportation Advisory Committee.
Thank you. Is there a second? Councilmember Trout-Manuel.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor Jayraj.
Thank you, Your Honor. Tyson Hiffman is well qualified for that Transportation Advisory Committee, and the council should approve his 3-year term.
Thank you. Questions or comments? All those in favor of Tyson Hiffman to be appointed to the Transportation Advisory Committee, citizen at large position, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say no. Motion carries. All right. Hannah, do we have any agenda modifications this evening?
The only agenda modification was the Women's Financial Literacy Week proclamation.
Thank you. All right. We will move to public hearings. We do have one public hearing this evening, excuse me, for ordinance number 6879. City Council to conduct a public hearing to consider ordinance number 6879, adopting the 2023-2024 biennial operating budget for the City of Auburn, Washington. Jamie, is there any staff report this evening?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you. Council, before I open the public hearing, do you have any questions? All right. I will open the public hearing for ordinance number 6879, the 2023-2024 biennial operating budget for the City of Auburn. Is there anyone that would like to comment? Is there anyone in the audience that would like to comment? All right, not seeing or hearing from anyone, I will close the public hearing and we will move to audience participation. This is the place on the agenda where the public is invited to speak to the City Council on any issue. The public can provide comments in person or submit written comments in advance of the scheduled meeting. Participants can submit written comments via mail, fax, or email. All written comments must be received prior to 5 p.m. on the day of the scheduled meeting and must be 350 words or less. Please mail written comments to City of Auburn, attention Sean Campbell, City Clerk, 25 West Main Street, Auburn, Washington, 98001. Please fax written comments to attention Sean Campbell, City Clerk, at 253-804-3116. Email written comments to publiccomment@auburnwa.gov. And if an individual requires an accommodation to allow for remote oral comment because of a difficulty attending a meeting of the governing body, The city requests notice of the need for accommodation by 5 p.m. on the day of the scheduled meeting. Participants can request an accommodation to be able to provide remote oral comment by contacting the city clerk's office in person, by phone at 253-931-3039, or email to publiccomment@auburnwa.gov. Hannah, do we have any online or written public comment this evening?
No, Your Honor, we do not.
All right. I will open it up to those who are here in the room. Is there anyone that would like to speak tonight during public comment? Don't all jump up and run at once. Is there anyone that would like to speak? All right, moving on. We have no correspondence this evening, so we will move to Council Ad Hoc Committee reports. The chair may report on the status of their ad hoc council committee's progress on assigned tasks and may give their recommendation to the city council, if any. And we do have the Finance Ad Hoc Committee, which is chaired by Councilmember Baggett.
Thank you, Your Honor. The Council Ad Hoc Committee, Finance Committee, consisting of Councilmember Baldwin and myself, reviewed 2022 claims vouchers encompassing 150 pages, totaling approximately $5.8 million, and will be dated November 21st, 2022. The committee also reviewed payroll vouchers for the period of November 3rd through November 16th, 2022, totaling approximately $2.6 million. All questions by the committee for the Finance Department were answered to the committee's satisfaction, and upon completion of our review, the committee recommends council approval of these vouchers. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we will move on to the consent agenda. All matters listed on the consent agenda are considered by the City Council to be routine and will be enacted by one motion in the form listed. Is there a motion? Deputy Mayor Jayraj.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Thank you. Is there a second? Councilmember Malinga.
I'll second that motion, Your Honor.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor Jayraj.
Thank you, Your Honor. The minutes consist of the November 7th, 2022 regular City Council meeting, November 14th, 2022 study session meeting, claims and payroll vouchers as described by Councilmember Bob Baggett and recommended by the Finance Committee, City Council to set a date for a public hearing to modify the 2023 to 2028 Transportation Improvement Program. City Council to approve of an increase of $44,000 in total maximum authorized contract amount for Public Works contract number 21-08, construction project number CP 2003, 2nd Street Southeast Reconstruction Project. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Are there any questions or comments from council or any need to remove an item for separate consideration? All right. All those in favor of the consent agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say no. Motion passes. All right, we have no unfinished business, but we do have new business on the agenda this evening, and that is the annual selection process of the deputy mayor. Council, as deputy mayor mentioned during your study session last week, that we would be following this process this evening, and it is in section 12.1 of your City Council Rules of Procedure. Section 12.1. Annually or more often as deemed appropriate, the members of the City Council by majority vote shall designate one of their members as deputy mayor for a one-year time period, except as provided in Section 12.1, paragraphs G and H. Elections will be held no later than the last council meeting of the year. Section A. Any member of the City Council who will have served on the council for 1 year at the beginning for that council member's term as deputy mayor may be nominated for the position of deputy mayor by having that council member's name placed in nomination by a council member. The nomination of a council member for the position of deputy mayor does not require a second and a council member may nominate him or herself. Item A2, nominations for the position of deputy mayor shall be made by the members of the city council on the dates of election for the deputy mayor position. Section 2, in connection with the selection of deputy mayor, it is strongly suggested that council members approach the election in an open, transparent, and respectful manner, avoiding anything that jeopardizes harmony amongst council members. Section B, the council member receiving a majority of the votes cast by the members of the city council shall be elected deputy mayor. A council member may vote for him or herself. Section C, the names of all nominees for the position of deputy mayor shall be included in the vote. Section D, if no single council member received a majority of the votes cast, a second vote or ballot between the two nominees who received the largest number of votes will be held. Section E, the deputy mayor shall serve at the pleasure of the council. Section F, in the event of the absence or unavailability of the deputy mayor, the senior member of the city council, other than the deputy mayor, shall serve as interim deputy mayor until the return of the regular deputy mayor. Section G, if the designated deputy mayor is unable to serve the full term of the position of deputy mayor, the council shall elect the next deputy mayor in accordance with Section 12 to serve the remainder of the term. If the appointment is declined, the process shall continue until a deputy mayor is designated. Item H, in the event that the council member selected as deputy mayor is unable to perform the duties of the position of deputy mayor or fails to act in accordance with the city council rules of procedure, the city council may, by a majority vote of the full council, remove the deputy mayor from this position, in which case the council shall elect the next deputy mayor in accordance with Section 12 to serve the remainder of that term. Council, before we begin, is what I just read clear? Do you have any questions of what the process is going to be? All right. So at this time, I will open the floor to nominations for deputy mayor for 2023. Councilmember Brown.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would like to nominate Councilmember James J. Jouraj.
Thank you. All right. Are there any other nominations for deputy mayor? All right. We will close the nominations. There is one name on the ballot at this point. So I will say all those in favor of appointing James J. Raj to the position of deputy mayor for 2023, please say aye.
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 All opposed, please say no. Motion passes unanimously. Congratulations, Deputy Mayor. We expect great things from you in your second year in this position.
We'll keep him in line.
Yes, yes. Deputy Mayor, did you have any words that you would like to say?
Thank you, Your Honor. Yes, I'd like to thank my council for working with me the last year, and I will be sad to see Council Member Stearns leave us, but we will continue forward without you.
So there.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. All right, we will move on to ordinances. First is ordinance number 6879, an ordinance adopting the 2023-2024 biennial operating budget for the city of Auburn, Washington. Is there a motion? Councilmember Baggett.
I move to approve ordinance number 6879.
Thank you. Is there a second? Councilmember Trout Manuel.
I'll second that, Your Honor.
Thank you. Councilmember Baggett.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ordinance number 6879 will establish the City of Auburn's operating budget at $224,064. I'm sorry, $224,064,064 $248,233 in 2023 and at $248,713,031 in 2024. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions or comments, council? All right, all those in favor of ordinance number 6879, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say no. Congratulations, ordinance number 6879 passes. We have a balanced biennial budget for the next 2 years. Jamie, congratulations. Thank you to you and your team for amazing work. All the directors and your teams, thank you for putting your budget items forward and working very collaboratively to make sure that we had a budget to present to council. And council, thank you very much for all of your work and the hours in the budget workshops to ensure that you understood and had the opportunity to ask questions about any of the items that were presented. Thank you, congratulations, and I think that is worthy of some applause. All right, ordinance number 6880, an ordinance establishing the levy for regular property taxes by the City of Auburn for collection in 2023 for general city operational purposes in the amount of $24,110,666. Is there a motion? Councilmember Baggett.
I move to approve
Ordinance
ordinance number
6880.
6882.
6880.
6880. I'm sorry, I got ahead of myself. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there a second? Councilmember Brown.
I'd like to second that motion, Your Honor.
Thank you. Councilmember Baggett.
Thank you. Ordinance number 6880 establishes the City of Auburn's property tax, 2023 property tax levy at $24,110,666, which is a 1% increase or $238,719 over the 2022 property tax levy. In addition, the city will levy an additional $247,237 in new construction and $67,455 in refund levies from prior years. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Are there any questions or comments? All right. All those in favor of ordinance number 6880, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say no. Ordinance number 6880 passes. Next is ordinance number 6882, an ordinance increasing the rate of tax on utilities within the city, amending sections 3.40.010, 3.41.010, 3.42.020, 3.84.040, and 3.88.040 of the Auburn City Code. Councilmember Baggett?
Yes, Your Honor. I would move to waive Council Rule 3.1P and number 2 to allow City Council to vote on ordinance number 6882 without the final ordinance language going to study session.
Thank you. Is there a second? Deputy Mayor Jayraj.
I'll second that motion, Your Honor.
Thank you. Councilmember Baggett, would you like to explain your motion?
Yes, this actual additional language in here is to clarify or show details of the, it doesn't change any of the requirements, but it does add details of the ordinance.
Thank you. Questions or comments from council? All right, so before we move on the ordinance itself, there is a motion to suspend the rules that would have required all of the language that you are seeing tonight to go to a study session per your council rules of procedure. All those in favor of the motion to suspend the rules, please say aye.
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 All opposed, please say no. The motion to suspend has passed. And now you have in front of you motion, or excuse me, ordinance number 6882. Is there a motion? Councilmember Baggett.
I move to approve ordinance 6882.
Thank you. Is there a second? Councilmember Trout Manuel.
I'll second that, Your Honor.
Thank you. Councilmember Baggett.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ordinance number 6882 increases the utility tax rate imposed on water, sewer, and storm and solid waste utilities from 10% to 11.5%. It further provides that 2.5% of the total tax rate for water, sewer, storm, and solid waste utilities and 1% of the total tax rate for all other utility services will be dedicated to acquiring, investing in, constructing, improving, providing, operating, preserving, maintaining, and/or funding transportation improvements in the city.
Thank you. Questions or comments? All right, all those in favor of ordinance number 6882, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say no. Ordinance number 6882 passes. Ordinance number 6883, an ordinance amending sections 13.06.360, 13.20.440, and 13.48.100 of the Auburn City Code relating to the city utility rates and establishing a separate customer class for customers served by the city's Brownwood Water Utility. Is there a motion? Councilmember Baggett.
Thank you again, Your Honor. I move to approve ordinance number 6883.
Thank you. Is there a second? Bless you. Councilmember Baldwin? Or, excuse me, Malinga?
Thank you, Your Honor. I move to approve this motion.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I second. I think we're all having a bad night tonight.
All right, thank you. There is a motion and a second. Councilmember Baggett.
Thank you again, Your Honor. Ordinance number 6883 adjusts the City of Auburn's water, sewer, and storm utility rates for the years 2023 through 2025 in order to ensure sustainability in the city's utility operations and infrastructure.
Thank you. Questions or comments from council? All those in favor of ordinance number 6883, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say no. Ordinance number 6883 passes. Ordinance number 6888, an ordinance adopting the 2023-2024 biennial capital budget for the city of Auburn, Washington. Is there a motion? Councilmember Baggett, it is your night.
Finance, boy, I'll tell you. Ordinance number, I move to approve ordinance number 6888.
Thank you. Is there a second? Councilmember Brown.
With appreciation to Councilmember Baggett, I second that motion.
Thank you. Councilmember Baggett.
Thank you again. Ordinance number 6888 establishes the City of Auburn's capital budget at $101,762,785 in 2023 and $81,734,972 in 2024. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions or comments? All those in favor of ordinance number 6888, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say no. Ordinance number 6888 passes. Moving on to resolutions, we have resolution number 5690, a resolution authorizing an agreement between the City of Auburn and B-Force Protection Security. Is there a motion? Deputy Mayor J. Raj.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd like to make a motion for resolution 5690.
Thank you. Is there a second? Councilmember Malinga. I'll get you by the right name tonight.
Yes. I'd like to second that, Your Honor.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor J. Raj.
Thank you, Your Honor. Resolution number 5690. The city has entered into a contract with B-Force Protection Security in 2021 in order to provide increased proactive security services for a number of city-owned properties throughout 2021 and 2022. This service has served as a valuable deterrent to vandalism, graffiti, dumping and garbage trespassing and other criminal activity. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Council, questions or comments? All those in favor of resolution number 5690, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, please say no. Resolution number 5690 passes. Council, we are going to have an executive session tonight, but it will not be until closer to, will it be at 8 p.m., Kendra?
Yes, Your Honor, 8 p.m., but I recommend we take a 10-minute break, and I can see if one of the attendees is available early.
I thought what I would do is just have council reports. That
Absolutely.
would take up some time.
Okay.
And then if you can check and see if the parties are available earlier, we will do that. Otherwise, we will take a break. All right. We are going to move to mayor and council member reports. At this time, the mayor and city council may report on significant items associated with their appointed positions on federal, state, regional, and local organizations. We will begin with Deputy Mayor Jayraj.
Thank you, Your Honor. I do have a report. On Tuesday, November 16th through November 20th, I was in Kansas City for the National League of Cities. Councilmember Stearns, Councilmember Trout, and our mayor were in attendance for various workshops. The biggest takeaway for me was the networking with other council members, deputy mayors and mayors from all over the country. We were all facing the same issues, and it just kind of surprised me, from the largest to the smallest city. On the plus side, I was also elected as the Asian Pacific American part of the municipal officials as a board member. I was encouraged to join a couple other boards, of which I'm seriously considering at this moment. I would encourage other council members other than Council Member Stearns, who have not been to one of our
Feeling the love tonight, Councilmember Stearns?
this would be a great experience. I will also make some new friendships who I will be collaborating in the future for ideas. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Councilmember Brown.
I think I have to give a report
I
tonight.
think you do.
It was my privilege on November 17th to attend a graduation from the Auburn Community Court. And I will say, quite frankly, I was blown away by what I saw. Each member of the community court team proceeded to describe the individual who was graduating that day as a real transition from where that individual started to where that individual arrived at graduation. Originally, this individual wasn't able to get to the court on time, coming up deficient in a few different ways at a few different times, but the transition and transformation in this individual's behavior and commitment to the process really changed. And I was very impressed by the community court members, staff, including the judge, the prosecuting attorney, the defense attorney, and court clerk, were so positive in speaking about the individual, but also holding the idea of accountability in the forefront during the discussion. The graduate was very appreciative, and from where I was sitting, I can see this individual really going out and prospering and thriving in our community. So much better than, just pure incarceration as the answer, or, catch and release or whatever. This was really a really positive experience for the individual, as far as I could tell, and I was just very impressed. So, and lastly, I would just report that despite the abuse of our fellow councilperson, Chris Stearns, congratulations, Chris. You'll be a great legislator, and look forward to working with you in that capacity.
Thank you. Councilmember Trout Manuel.
As our deputy mayor spoke about the ones that went to National Leagues of City, I also had the honor to be one of the 5, it was called a cafe style of questions and answers. And thank you to my staff, our staff that gave me a lot of the information, and our director, Hinman, made a lovely brochure that I was the only one out of the 5 that handed out some things. Later on, people were coming to me and saying that that was very much appreciated to have, to see what Auburn is doing in our community. And thank you, Ingrid, for what you gave me too. Also, I have also been asked again to serve on several boards, and I've already submitted 3 of my applications to be on the women's WIMAGE, and also on the Human Development Board, and the other one was first tier board, so I should know here pretty soon if I'm elected to serve as a board member. It was a great conference, as Deputy Mayor James J. Raj mentioned. A lot of networking, a lot of new council members, and it was really nice to see him out there networking like crazy and not being shy to throw his name out there. Immediately being first vice president, I was told at a couple of the places. So thank you for stepping up and sharing what Auburn is all about and doing. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Baggett.
No report tonight, but I would like to congratulate Councilmember Stearns and wish him all the best in Olympia. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Stearns.
Thank you, Your Honor. I was just really honored to go to Kansas City for the National League of Cities conference with our esteemed colleagues and staff. Auburn is held in very high esteem by the rest of the country. So, it's just a testament to the good work that everyone does. And I was grateful to participate on a panel on Saturday on partnerships between tribes and cities. And I hope everyone got a lot out of it, but it certainly was a really wonderful experience. I did have a chance to work with the policy staff to start the ball rolling on removing an outdated provision in the NLC national policy that the outgoing policy chair and incoming policy chair totally agreed with. So some good was done. But thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Councilmember Malinga.
No report tonight, Your Honor, but I also want to congratulate Councilmember Stearns. I'm glad to have you representing us in Olympia.
Thank you. All right. I, as has been mentioned, did attend National League of Cities too. Before I go into my report on sessions that I went into, I did want to acknowledge the celebration of life that occurred for Ron Koppel Sr. A week ago Saturday. He was a true friend to the city of Auburn. He served on the Planning Commission for 10 years and also worked with the Chamber of Commerce, amongst other organizations. He will be truly missed. It was a spectacular turnout. He was also heavily involved in youth soccer in this state, and so it was a wonderful turnout of people who knew him in different phases of his life, and it was an honor for me to be there to provide the eulogy for someone who I considered a good friend. He will definitely be missed. And going into some of the sessions that I attended during National League of Cities, one that I found very important and critical to attend was on the topic addressing substance use disorders and overdose deaths in your community. One of the main comments that was made very early on in this session was we can't expect law enforcement to fix this, but it's currently the only main intervention that we have. I don't think there are many truer words to be said, that this cannot continue to be the responsibility of law enforcement to try and fix. There was Jan Rader, the out of Huntington, West Virginia crisis team, and in Huntington, they have within 72 hours of a resuscitation from a drug overdose, a crisis team visits that person, and that includes a paramedic, a plainclothes officer, a mental health professional, and a faith-based leader to try and help get that person into the services. Also attending, and one of the panelists is our friend Brad Finegood of the Seattle King County Public Health. He is a strategic advisor there. He has worked with us in the city of Auburn on numerous occasions. Terrence Walton, a National Association of Drug Court Professionals. And while we have community court here in Auburn, he did make some comments that I think were striking. If the only game is drug courts, then there could be a serious overservice and higher risk of failure. Not every individual is at the level where they need drug court. Sometimes a lighter intervention is the way to go, and as we know, jail is not the answer for everyone that has a substance use disorder, but it should be one of the options. And there should be intervention before the justice system is involved. The further into the legal system, obviously, the more expensive it is. It was a standing room only session, lending proof that fentanyl, meth, and other drugs are not just an emergency in our region, but throughout this country. One of the questions was, what should local leaders be aware of? And the answers were many, but some of them: don't bank the money. The crisis is now, so money that will be coming from the federal government. Don't bank that money trying to hold on to it until something good comes along. The crisis is now. Focus on equity. It has to be a fair and transparent process, whatever we do. Make sure that jurisdictions are talking to each other. There is definitely a need for transitional housing, as we know, clean and sober living. And as Brad said, the gaps are deadly. Brad didn't know that we were going to be in the room. He turned over to our place in the audience and saw me and started talking about the great work that Kent Hay and the city of Auburn are doing, including bringing nurses into the encampments, the clean and sober housing that will be funded through some of our ARPA funds. And he also mentioned where some people are disturbed that an individual, perhaps it's on heroin or fentanyl, is exchanging one drug for another, such as methadone or any of the other, buprenorphine or any of the others. He said it's not necessarily a drug that every individual needs to be weaned off of. Take for consideration insulin, asthma medication, allergy meds. They're not any different. It treats the person and the illness that they have. And then another session I went to is how to rebuild the workforce. Municipal governments have lost 18 times more employees than the private sector did during COVID and out of COVID. Retirement, 51% of those who left were retirement, and many took an early retirement due to COVID. We also found out that municipal workers are older than private sector workers, so the staffing shortages have significant impacts to services, and mid and upper management levels are the most challenging to fill. And also noted that BIPOC representation is low in municipalities, something I think we are also all aware of and working to correct. We need to rethink the positions. Do we have the right alignment? And base any new hires not on a one-to-one replacement, but what are the outputs that we are looking for? Do we have the right alignment now? And if not, we need to be flexible enough and nimble enough to be able to realign ourselves to ensure that the outputs that we want are what we are providing. And then one of the keynote sessions was by a gentleman named Brandon Fleming. He has written a book called Miseducated about his life of challenge and how he overcame that challenge. He is a young black man who was raised out of poverty, and one of the comments that struck me the most is representation is the lens by which we dream. If you don't see yourself represented, how can you even imagine to dream yourself into that position? That was such a powerful message. And he also said, we cannot change who we do not serve. We need to ensure that we are serving everyone in our community. And I also did want to say congratulations to Councilmember Trout-Manuel for a great job at that cafe-style presentation discussing electric vehicles and what Auburn and other cities are doing. In the session, Not Your Average Transit Solution, Find New and Multimodal Options for Your City or Town. You were engaging, and you got the people in each group very involved in the discussion. Thank you for representing Auburn well. Councilmember Stearns, in Powerful Partnerships, Native American Tribes, and Local Economic Development. As always, you were incredibly knowledgeable about the history as well as current process and current situations involving Native and Indigenous people. You were funny, and you captured everyone's attention, and those around me who knew that you were from Auburn and that I was from Auburn told me just how fortunate we were to have you as a council member, and I couldn't agree more. I'm proud to work with every one of the council members here. And also a final congratulations to Tacoma Mayor Victoria Woodard, who was voted in as the president for National League of Cities. That is a huge honor and a huge commitment of time. We are very proud that the state of Washington and our neighboring city will be represented so well in the upcoming year. All right, longer than usual, but a lot to go over. And we will now...
I thought you were about to adjourn.
No, I'm not going to adjourn. We will be going into executive session. The City Council will adjourn into an executive session per RCW 42.30.110, subset 1, subset I, to discuss litigation specifically threatened and which the agency is a party for 30 minutes. City Attorney Como, Director of Human Resources Martinson, and Chief of Police Collier will be required to attend. There is no anticipated action after the executive session. We will adjourn to executive session.
Did he come by? Is that gentleman? Is he coming?
He's on phone in there. Are you feeling all right?
Hey, good to see you, Larry.
I will call the meeting of the Auburn City Council for Monday, November 21st, 2022 back to order. And there being no additional business to come before us this evening, we are adjourned.